Hi, my name's Steve Bronstein. I wrote the play The Tangled Skirt, which is currently being performed here at the New Jersey Rep.
And how did you come up with the idea for this play, Steve?
Well, I wanted to do something in the genre of noir. There isn't much being done in theater, even in movies. It's kind of unusual to see it. I love the genre, and I wanted to pay a little homage to it without imitating it. It's a contemporary play, and I just gave it a shot. I put two people in a bus depot with two travel bags, and see if any sparks could fly. So hopefully they have tonight.
Now, how long is the play going to run for?
The play runs until the third week in January, I think till January 23rd. And so it's about 6 weeks, but there's a holiday break around Christmas and New Year's.
Now, how did you, were you influenced by certain writers?
Well, you know, Hitchcock, James Cain, you know, a lot of the great noir writers, and you know, Hitchcock's style. But I think the trick is to not imitate, but just to, you know, be influenced by, but to put your own stamp on it. That's what I tried to do with The Tangled Skirt.
Now, what are your plans for this play that you'd like to see it go from here?
Well, we would like to see it move on from here. We love doing it here, and they have great audiences here at New Jersey Rep. We'll see what happens. It's opening night tonight. We'll see what the response is. Hopefully some people liked it. I think some producers will probably be coming in to look at it over the next several weeks, so who knows?
My name is Evan Bergman, and I'm the director of the play The Tangled Skirt.
Now, how did you feel about directing this play? Was it first time something different that you've ever done before, or was it similar to something else?
Well, I had done a play that was had run in New York for about half a year called The Director with John Shea, which was a thriller that had a successful run. But in terms of a noir style piece, no, I think this is the first time I've ever come across a noir piece like this.
And how did you approach this in terms of telling the actress and actor what to do in terms of the play?
Well, good question. We tried to make it noir, and that was the material, but we tried not to make this so much quote the style. I didn't try to set it specifically in the 1940s or 50s, and I didn't specifically set it in 2010. Kind of tried to set it in kind of another world that could kind of be any time. And that was basically what we were trying to do. And then also to make the femme fatale more of a stylized vision, and to make the man more of an everyman, so that as though he was creating this story maybe in his head.
Now, in terms of, you said you didn't want to stylize it for the 1940s. There was some, you know, reminiscence that I saw of that era in the dialogue and things like that. So you really couldn't get away from that too much. And how did you deal with that?
Well, I think that the dialogue, the pulp of the dialogue, yes, that is what is referencing kind of an era. But in terms of the dashes and the quotes, in terms of costume and physical location of the set, that's, I think we tried to make that a little more kind of general. But the dialogue, sure, that is certainly referencing. That's why it was written, I think, to kind of quote that kind of material, a pulpy kind of noir show.
Is this your first time at New Jersey Rep?
No, I've actually had an opportunity to come down before. I did a show down here 2 years ago called Place Setting that was voted one of the top new plays of the 2007 season by the Star Ledger, and it was a very successful play. It's going on to be done at other theaters. And prior to that, I did one other play for them called Lemonade in 2004.
And how did you get selected to direct this play?
I actually had approached the artistic team here with this script, and they were encouraged, so they let us do a reading, and that reading was successful, and that subsequently led to them offering Steve Bronstein, the playwright, a production slot, and Steve was kind enough to ask me to direct it.
Great. Okay, so maybe we'll see you here again.
Yeah, it would be nice. New Jersey Rep is a great place. Good people.
I'm Carmine Levita. I play Ron DeClaire in Steve Bronstein's play The Tangled Skirt, directed by Evan Bergman, at the NJ Rep.
And how did you like the role that you played in?
I loved it. It's a tough role. It demands you to be, tough as nails. And it was a real challenge because there's a lot of twists and turns in the play that you have to sort of go from coy to tough to all these different nooks and crannies of this tough chick. So it was an interesting journey to do that.
And what are some of the other plays that you've done recently?
Recently, I was in Vern Thiessen's Apple, and before that, Mike Lee's Abigail's Party. Those are the recent ones.
And where did you study? In New York?
I studied in New York City at the Stella Adler Conservatory, and the two people who are my gurus now are Larry Moss and Joyce Piven. Those two fantastic coaches and teachers.
Okay. And do you think that as far as the role that you played in this, how do you think people will identify? Do you think they would identify with the female role or the male?
I think a little bit of both, actually, because as much as I'm a money grabber and people will see me in the play as that, there's a reason why I became that kind of woman, and when you find out why, they'll identify and have more understanding of who I am. And Bailey Bryce, he does it for love. He uses money to get to me for love, so it's not a great thing that he wanted to murder someone to get my heart. But so that's a balance. It's not good to kill, but it's good to love. So it's a very sarcastic play, and you go through these different emotions between us two. So I don't think it's a black and white thing necessarily.
So is this your first time at NJ Rep?
It is. I'm happy to say this is my debut at the NJ Rep. I'm really, really happy. Gabe and Suzanne are fantastic people, and I loved working with Evan Bergman. He's a fantastic director, and Steve Bronstein we were lucky to have him at the rehearsals a lot, so we could ask him questions, and the four of us just sort of mapped out the play and tried to get from A to B, best way possible.
Great, okay. So what are your plans for the future after this?
After this, I have a little, funnily enough, just before this, I did a noir movie that was written by Alan Nee, who wrote Finding Neverland. We just did this little movie, so it's going to come out. So these are the two major things that are happening with me right now. And then after that, who knows?
I'm Vince Nappa, and I play Bailey Bryce in Tangled Skirt.
So how did you feel about this part? Is it something different you've never done before?
Yeah, I've never done anything film noirish, and this character has about 3,000 secrets, and it's interesting because you can't play that you have the secrets, because then you'll never actually play what you need to do on stage, but you have to have it there. And I don't know, it's been a long time since I did a show so nuanced as this and so layered, and that is so incredibly complex that it could be really difficult to have fun with. And at the end of the day, that was probably the biggest note, was to go out there and have fun. I think it's something that we're just now getting to, which tonight's opening. So
was this your first time at New Jersey Rep?
Yeah.
And how did you come to get this role?
So Evan, the director, Evan Bergman, saw me do a show in the city a couple of years ago, and he really liked my performance, and he told me that he was going to be calling me at some point to work with me, and he started sending me scripts, but it was about 6 months later before he actually got in touch with me, and he just started sending me scripts, and this was one of them, and we got together, and I had read this a couple of times. I feel like maybe I've read this with he and Steve, the writer, 3 times maybe over the last year and a half, and then auditions crept up, and I came out and read it for the artistic directors, and then I auditioned, and they liked me, and here I am.
I totally enjoyed the play. What I liked was the way they had, the director had the characters kind of like across the room from each other, very, very Alfred Hitchcock. Her looking into a mirror and a reflection in the mirror, posing, thinking about things. It was very well done.